Martin Babinec joining us right now on the Talk of the Town, as promised, the independent congressional candidate. Martin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Always happy to be here.
Yes. Before we dig into those comments from President Obama and implications for the presidential election, as it highlights your run for Congress, we had a couple of studies we wanted to ask you about. One of them from Harvard suggesting that strong, healthy marriages that last long are the result of people who have enjoyed healthy and happy childhoods. Did you have a happy childhood?
I am a very lucky guy, and there's no question about it. I had a very happy childhood. My parents raised 7 children, the youngest, of course, with special needs, Down syndrome, and that's something that can also bring a lot of love and caring into a family. So, yes, I'm a very lucky guy.
Good. You're kind of fading in and out. Were you on speakerphone there or not?
No, I'm on a cell phone. I'm traveling in Binghamton today, so I was not able to get to a landline, but I do appreciate the opportunity to call in.
Sure. Are you on hands-free now, or can you actually pick it up? Because if it is hands-free, it's kind of difficult.
No, I'm not on hands-free.
Okay, thank you. That works.
It's not catching on fire, is it? It's not one of those Galaxy, the Samsung ones, are they?
No, not catching on fire.
But your campaign is catching on fire. Things seems to be going rather well. What are you hearing out there on the campaign trail?
Well, there's no question that we're excited. Momentum continues. The poll results that were released by Siena College, the independent poll, has confirmed that I'm competitive in the race. And most importantly, that I'm drawing equally from Democrats, Republicans, and independents. And in addition to that, I'm also drawing equally from all geographies of the district. So these are the kind of things you want to have going into the final month of the campaign.
Yeah, you mentioned being out in Binghamton, a lot of travel. I know, speaking with the different camps, that there are a lot of different engagements, I guess, scheduled from now until November. Give us an idea of what that has been like traveling around the district. It does encompass a huge area. So what has it been like speaking with constituents and of the potential constituents of those areas and traveling around? What are you hearing?
I'm really enjoying it because there's no better way to understand the needs of individual constituents than to be out there pressing the flesh, hearing their stories, and understanding how things do vary from community to community across the district. We have some larger communities like the greater Binghamton area and the Utica-Rome area, but there are also many smaller communities in between, and there's no doubt about it. That variety is something that, as a congressional representative, you have to understand the differences of both communities and the individuals there. So, yes, this has been a lot of fun, and I have learned a ton over these last 9 months of campaigning.
Donald Trump made some inflammatory comments that came to light following about a decade or so, and I know that you had recently said you were going to caucus with the Republicans toward the election, and do you have a special affinity toward either of these candidates, or do you take offense at the statements and policies of one candidate versus another at the presidential level this year?
Listen, there's no doubt. I'm a husband of 36 years and a father of 2 amazing, strong daughters, as well as a son who's grown into manhood. So there's no doubt. I find the comments offensive and reprehensible. There's just no place for that in politics, and especially for our most important position in the land. We deserve and expect to have something better. That said, what really makes me also upset is the process that we have is so clearly broken, because as a voter, I'm troubled at having to choose between the questionable honesty of Hillary Clinton and the troubling temperament of Donald Trump. And when you think of all that's involved in going through a primary process to serve up the best candidates, I got to come to a conclusion that our process is indeed broken. And this is a big reason why I decided to run as an independent candidate, because there's a lot that can be done as an independent candidate to help bring these two polarized parties together and start trying to make some change to put things on a track that's more in line with what the voters really want.
We're talking with congressional hopeful Martin Babinec on the Talk of the Town, 100.7 FM, WUTQ.
But let's assume that you're elected in November. You've said that you're going to caucus with the Republicans. There's a split even now within the Republican Party. How do you start to move the nation forward if you're elected when there's not just division between Republicans and Democrats, but also divisions within the Republican Party from, Trump supporters versus folks that felt that they can no longer stand and support Trump?
But this is the beauty of being an independent, since I don't have to really toe the line in terms of party leadership, or, as you're also aware, I'm not taking any special interest political action committee money, which is the fuel that makes it possible for most candidates to get elected. So I can truly concentrate on representing the best interests of the voters. And because I'm independent, both parties will be courting me. That's an enviable position to be. Because when it comes to legislation, neither party is going to get exactly what they want on any piece of legislation. It's necessary to collaborate. And both parties have to give up a little bit in order to get something through. Quite frankly, we don't have enough of that going on right now. Our primary process, where there is such low voter turnout, as well as these gerrymandered districts that have been set up by our politicians so that they can create these safe seats, the combination of those two things puts us in a situation where the candidates to the extremes on both the left and the right are the ones that get elected, and then we end up having a situation that because they're catering to the extreme elements, they're not willing to compromise. And guess what? We don't get things done. So as an independent, I have the chance not only to work with both sides and try to strike some agreements, but importantly, I truly believe other people are going to follow in my footsteps of running as an independent. And when that happens, you're going to start to see both parties moving a little bit more to the center, because they realize they can't continue that path of only catering to the extremes. It's creating this dysfunction we see in our electoral process today.
And Martin, you're starting to touch on this a little bit, because my next question was this congressional seat on a national level is being looked at. Congress itself is being looked at on how things could be, skewed, I guess, or change as far as the parties go and who represents who in Congress. So I'd like to get your point of view on how important this congressional seat could be in regards to party lines.
Well, this is hugely important. Let me point out that there are 435 congressional districts in the U.S., and out of 435, there are only like 19 races that are even considered competitive, which, I don't know about you, but for me, there's something wrong with that.
Right.
All right? So we're actually considered, this race is considered the most competitive race in the entire country. And, of course, the reason it's the most competitive, it's not only that, all right, we're one of 9 races that's considered a toss-up, all right, where they can't even make a prediction as to who's going to win, but this is the only race in the entire country for which there's a third-party candidate that is competitive and can win. So as a result, it is starting to get a little bit of scrutiny, because I believe you'll start seeing national attention coming to this race, because this is unusual. And those that are following the political scene can appreciate the fact that as soon as someone wins as an independent candidate, there are others that are going to start to follow. That's why this is indeed historic.
Any more national endorsements coming your way that you're going to be announcing?
Well, as a matter of fact, we are going to be coming up with a national endorsement that I will let the party who's making the endorsement announce it, but we are soon going to announce a national endorsement that will put some attention on this race.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
Look forward to that.
And Martin, are you involved with a forum today at the Parkway Center? Is that correct?
We had the Chamber of Commerce candidate forum last evening here in Binghamton.
Okay.
And today I have some other meetings that will include a visit to the Urban League and also with Truth Farm, which is an opiate abuse nonprofit. But yes, we're going to have a special event this evening in Endicott, in which some people from Endicott and Binghamton are coming together, inner city people. There'll be a combination of those interested in my message and also some good blues music, of which my wife and I are great fans. So we're excited for what is ahead for us today.
All right. I'm excited. Tomorrow night, I'm roasting Bob Casulo, your good friend, at the Little Falls Travel Lodge. I know you guys go way back, and the famous assistant coach for Syracuse football and NFL assistant coach will be the roastee tomorrow night. Any tips for me? Maybe one quick story about Bob Casulo?
You know, I am so sorry I can't be there because I would love to be there, but we have a candidate forum tomorrow night, I want to say in Hamilton, so I have to put the campaign ahead of that. But Bob is a terrific guy. You'll see a man with a sense of humor, a high integrity, and more than anything else, Bob Casulo is a guy that never forgot where he came from. His heart and soul is in Little Falls, New York, and you're going to see as you come out of that he wears that on his sleeve and makes everyone around him proud about what Little Falls represents. So you're going to have a good time at this event.
I'm not going to be as kind tomorrow night when I'm roasting him, Martin, but that's okay. And by the way, I'm good friends with Bob, so it's all between buddies. It's at the Little Falls Travel Lodge tomorrow, and I think there are still tickets and availability if you want to get involved. Martin, thanks for joining us today.
All right. Thanks for having me.